Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel House Kitchen. Please like, subscribe and click the notification bell. Hello my amazing food lovers. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I prepare this aubergine sauce, also known as garlic egg sauce. These are the things I'm going to be using to cook my sauce today. I'm going to be using this fresh fish which I've already brought out from the freezer, and my meat, my shaki, pomo and cow foot. I've brought everything out to defrost. So this is me washing my meat. I always like to wash my pot at the same time. I've already washed it, just roasting it. It's always good to use salt to wash your meat, because if there is any sand, the salt will take out the sand. It's good if you don't use salt. I think it's a good thing you use salt to wash your meat, because it really take out all the sand, anything that is in it. Just use salt to wash it. If you like, you can put a salt and leave it for some time, which I did. Leave it for some time, then go there and roast it, and your meat will be as clean as much as you want. So I'm just roasting it one more time to make sure that there is no sand, there is not too much salt on it, to take away the salt. I normally use a little bit of warm water. I'm just going to be putting it in the cooker. This is me putting it in the cooker, giving it time to cook. I always cook my meat, my shaki, pomo and all my hard meat. I cook them early first. So this is me taking out the the sticker they normally put for the price. I'm just taking it out, wash it very well to make sure that it's really clean. So I'm washing it, and I'm still going to wash it again. So I'm just going to put it in my pot. So I'm just going to rinse my pot one more time. Even if you wash your pot, it's always good to always rinse it again before you use it. It's very, very important. So this is my sweet pepper. I'm going to be putting it inside to boil so that it can make it soft, because it brings another taste out of it. It's really good. If you don't do it, I advise you do it. It's really nice if you put your sweet pepper and your scotch bonnet. I always separate them. I don't know why, it's just an habit. You don't need to separate your scotch bonnet from the sweet pepper. I always do. So I'm going to be using some spinach as well. I'm using 2 packs of spinach. So these are the spinach I'm going to be using, and I'm going to just check up on my meat. Look, my meat is cooking and I'm quite pleased with it. So I'm adding my meat now, because I let my shaki and pomo boil a little more first, because it takes longer for the shaki and pomo to cook. So it's always good to boil them first before you add your meat. So I'm going to be adding my cube to it at the same time. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. So I'm just checking on my aubergine. I'm checking my sweet pepper. I can see that it's cooked already. You can tell by the softness of it and everything. So I'm just going to be taking it off and put it in a bowl before I start blending. So my scotch bonnet is ready. I don't know why I always separate it. You don't need to. So this is my meat. They are ready that I'm going to be using. I'm using fish. This is my meat, my shaki fish, and I'm using my pomo, which I have dyed so little, and I'm using smoked turkey. I'm using some periwinkle. I'm using different kind of things, and I'm using crayfish as well. So this is my spinach. I've washed it. If I buy spinach, even if it's washed, I always like to wash it. It's always good to wash it again with salt, because it takes away the sand. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to be taking out the skin of the aubergine. Some people leave it, but I always like to take it off, because if not, it becomes too showy when you are eating. Because I'm going to be using this sauce to eat yam, rice, anything I want to use it to eat, I can use this sauce to eat it. So that is why I always like to take off the skin. Some people don't. A lot of people like to leave it, but if you have not taken off the skin before and use it to cook, I will advise you try it, because it's really, really nice. When you take out the skin, you don't get that chewiness, that extra, taste in your mouth. So this is really nice, and I always advise wash your food before you cook. Always wash again. So this is my pepper. You can see, look at how beautiful it look, because I didn't blend it to be too smooth, just like crush it a little bit with my hand blender. I like to use my hand blender a lot. So you can use this. I bought this little mortar that I used to pound my what is it called, I use it to pound a lot of my ginger and garlic, but you can use that. If you don't want to use that, you can always use this. This is the one you use to mash your potato. So that is to tell you how soft it is. That is why I'm using this one, just to show you guys. You don't need to have that. So you can use this. You can use this a lot. This one is good. you can use a lot of this to pound it. This one work faster as well, so I always use this, or I use the other one. So at this moment I just put my pot in the fire. As you can see, I'm just adding my palm oil. So I'm using palm oil to cook this particular food. You can use vegetable oil, but I use palm oil because it's really good when you use palm oil. I don't let my palm oils to be too fried, so I'm just adding my onions. So I'm adding my onions to it. I'm just going to give it a little stir. So at this moment I'm adding my ginger and garlic. I'm going to stir it a little bit, then give it a little stir and see that it's fried, because I didn't let my oil fry for too long, so that is why I just leave it a little bit to be fried with it. So I'm just going to be adding my pepper. The pepper I just crushed now. It's not too smooth, as I said. I just use the hand blender. You can always pound it if you have a pounder. So me, I didn't pound it. I just decided to add my iru. This is my iru. If you are not using iru is always good to cook when you are cooking sauce, mostly soup or anything. So I'm adding crayfish. I'm just going to add a little bit of crayfish, so just to make sure that it's enough. I didn't really measure it, so I don't know, I just guess it. So I'm just adding my meat. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of stir as well to make sure that everything is okay, to just checking and it's all right. So I'm adding my periwinkle as well. This is my periwinkle I'm adding to it right now. So I'm just going to add a little bit of my momo that I diced, and I'm going to be adding my stockfish as well. I didn't use a lot of stockfish. I just only wanted the taste of stockfish, but if you like stockfish a lot, you can put more, but I only put little because I didn't really want too much of it. So I'm just giving it a little bit of stir. And now as I see that it's almost ready, you can see how dry it is. I've let everything fry together. You can leave it for like 5 minutes or less for everything to fry together. I leave mine for 5 minutes. So I'm adding cube on it now before I add my fish. So I'm just adding my fish to it, and I'm going to stir it. You can always take out your fish after you see that the fish is cooked. So I'm adding my smoked turkey. So you can take out the fish before you add anything, but I did not take out the fish from mine. But you can always take it out if you don't want it to break, but mine did not break anyway because I'm so used to doing it like this. So I'm just adding more salt because the salt was not enough, so I add a little bit more. So now what I'm doing now, I'm going to be adding my spinach to it. I'm adding my spinach, then I'll give it a little bit time to stir. I put a little bit and stir it because the pot is quite small, so I'm just putting it little by little to stir it. So this is my spinach I'm adding on it. When you put your spinach, you just need to give it like less than 2 to 3 minutes because you don't want your spinach to be too cooked. So guys, my soup is ready. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do me well to subscribe to my channel.